Hello and welcome to this next module, which is entitled Understanding the Amazon Bestseller Ranking System. This is one of the questions that I get asked time and time again. How does the Amazon Bestseller Ranking System work? And more importantly, how many books am I going to sell per day based on my ranking? Now, I have to stress from the outset, I have absolutely no confirmation that the information that I'm going to give you here is 100% accurate. However, the information that I will give you is based on my understanding of how the system works, and also people I've spoke to who work within Amazon and also within the book publishing industry. So I believe it's fairly accurate. However, Amazon, they are the only people who know how their bestseller ranking system works. It's the same with Google's ranking system with regards to search engine optimization. Nobody really knows how it works apart from Google themselves. But I will give you an insight into my understandings of what it means. Okay, so the Amazon book ranking system. Your book's ranking will not generally have any impact on the conversion rate. Okay, this is based on how many people will buy, simply because your average customer who's going to buy your product will not be aware that the Amazon book rank actually exists. Okay, now what I mean by that is when your customer is looking for books, they won't go, hey, this is a #2 bestseller and it ranks in education studies, therefore I will buy it. However, what it means is the more books you are selling on Amazon and the higher ranking you get, this tells Amazon that your book is a good seller and therefore it is likely to promote it to more people. So if you have viewed the BISAC subject codes module within this online book writing course, you'll understand how important it is for you to make sure that you have selected correct BISAC codes for your book, because this will help making sure that your book gets under the noses and the eyes of the people who are most interested in your book subject. So, just to recap, your book's ranking will not generally have any impact on your conversion rate, simply because your average customer does not know that the Amazon book selling ranking exists. Okay, but to you, however, a book's ranking is very important, because once you become a bestseller, then you can use this in your promotional materials, you can use it on the back cover of your book, you can even use it on the front cover of your book. And if you become a bestseller, I'd get a badge that says Amazon bestseller and put it on the front cover of your book. Now, if your book manages to rank in the top 100 of any category on Amazon, and again refer to the BISAC codes, you are automatically a bestseller on Amazon. And this status, if you like, can be used to help promote your book. Now, I have been a multiple bestseller on Amazon. Lots and lots of my books have been a bestseller at any one point in time. Now, the Amazon bestseller ranking updates every single hour of the day. So that means, in theory, you could just be a bestseller for 1 hour of your book's entire history or lifespan on Amazon, but you are still classed as an Amazon bestseller. Okay, so bear that in mind. More things. Amazon's book rankings are updated every hour, as I've just mentioned. So, unless you're going to go on there and have a look every hour, what you'll need to do is to sign up for the Amazon Author Central account, so you can go in there and have a look at your historical sales data for your particular book. Like I say, it updates every hour. You don't want to be going on there checking every hour. I used to in the early days, and I would then be able to get screenshots of my books that have ranked as a #1 bestseller. If a customer purchases a book on Amazon, it may not get registered as a sale on the book ranking system for a few hours. So it isn't actually updated instantly. So let's say you get 10 orders within an hour. If you go on there straight away, it doesn't necessarily show in the ranking system. It can take a few hours for that to actually come through. Now, Amazon lists approximately 8 million books. It's actually got more than 8 million. That's a huge number of books, and that is only going to increase as the years go on, okay, because more people are interested in writing and publishing books, you obviously being one of them. So to get to a bestseller, and even a #1 bestseller, is it's a big achievement. If a book does not have any ranking, so let's say you're doing some research on Amazon and a book does not have any ranking, this means it hasn't actually sold any copies. Okay, so if there's no ranking at all on the book, and I'll show you where to find the ranking for each particular book, it means it hasn't sold any copies. Now, if you see a book with a rank in the 2, 3, 4 or 5 or even higher million range, now I think that's a good indication that that book is not particularly selling that many copies. Okay, so just to reiterate, if it's like 2, 3, 4 or 5 or even 6, 7 or 8 million range, it's generally not selling that many copies. Now, a book's rank will change hourly, unless, as I've mentioned, unless it has not sold any copies. A book may gain a good rank due to a burst of sales, So you might do a quick promotion to an email list or your Facebook page, but if it doesn't sell anymore after that, it will gradually fall down the rankings. So just because you get to the bestseller status, unless the sales keep up consistently every day, then you will fall off the bestseller ranking. Now, predictive features are built into the Amazon sales ranking algorithm. Amazon can predict fairly accurately if a newly released book is going to sell better than one that has been listed for, say, 3 or 4 years. Okay, so Amazon has these predictive features built in based on the number of people that are viewing the book and also the number that are buying it based on the conversion rate. So it's with regards to the impressions, and that is how many people actually view the book on the sales page based against the people who actually buy it. So let's say a book has a conversion rate of, say, 10%. That means 10 out of every 100 who view the page go on to buy it. That can tell Amazon that this is going to be a good seller moving forward. And we find that with some of our books is we put them out, and then all of a sudden, after a few weeks, Amazon will order lots of copies from us. And also, talking to my publishing director, he stated before that we'll put a book out there, and it will sometimes take a few months to get going, but then after a few months, we'll start to get lots of orders from Amazon. And that's because our book is then moving up the rankings. More people are buying our book in conjunction with other people's books, and then it's starting to appear on many different sales pages. Now, if your book reaches the top 100 of any book category, then your book is classed as an Amazon bestseller. Each particular book is ranked against every book sold on Amazon. Now, to put it simply, the smaller the number your book's rank is, the better. And if you have a ranking of, say, 4,000, this means that 3,999 books are ahead of you in terms of book sales. So your book sales rank will also be different on each of Amazon's selling platforms. For example, you won't have the same rank on .com as you would do on .co.uk. Okay, so all the different platforms are different. Okay. So if you were to push me and say, give me a rough approximate sales per day based on a ranking. So if a book has an Amazon bestseller rank of, say, 50 to 100,000, it will be selling close to, say, 1 book a day or 30 or 31 books a month. And then it goes down. So let's take a look. If your book was selling, say, 15 to 25 books a day, then it would be in a 5,000 to 10,000 ranking. And if we go down to the bottom, an Amazon bestseller rank of, say, 5 to 20, selling 3,000 to 4,000 books a day. Now, don't forget, this is out of every single book on Amazon. Amazon bestseller rank of 1 to 5, then it's probably selling over 4,000 books a day. Now, that's based on every single book, not in a category, but every single book on Amazon. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's go across to Amazon. So what I'll do now, I'm on amazon.co.uk, and I will type in best-selling books. Okay, so I've typed in best-selling books, and it will come up with a list of books. Okay, so if we look at this one, we scroll down the sales page, you can see there that this book is selling really well. It's 416 pages. So what you do on every book, and they're all the same, is go down to product details. So 416 pages, the publisher's details are there, the language in English, Amazon's ISBN, the 13-digit ISBN, the product dimensions, 13 times 2.7 times 19.9 centimeters. Now, the average customer reviewed has been 317 reviews. It's got a very good rank in this book. And the Amazon bestseller rank there is 1,020 books. Now, this is out of all of the books on Amazon. Okay, so that's selling really well. Now, the bestseller rank below is number 665 in fiction. Okay, so it's not actually a bestseller in fiction because it's not ranking in the top 100, but it's still an extremely high selling book. So just whilst I'm on this page, the title goes across here, okay, at the top, the title and the strapline. The book cover goes here. Then you've got the description, and you can read more of it there. The description of the book goes there. And then these are interesting, these parts, the frequently bought together section. So the aim is to try and get your book on here on as many different book sales pages as possible. The same with here. Customers who bought this item also bought. And what's interesting, you will see that the first two books here, the blue one and that one, are at the top there, along with this one. Okay, so what this means is, it says there on the right, page 1 of 20. So I could scroll across page 2 of 20, page 3 of 20, page 4. So there's actually loads and loads of different books that have also been bought in conjunction with this one. The more copies that are bought in conjunction with the main product title eventually move over onto the first page. So that means that these two have been bought the most in conjunction with that one. So you can see now why it's important to write great books, because eventually people will buy them in conjunction with other books. And also, you would see when you are carrying out your research, you might think, actually, this book's selling really well, therefore I could create and publish a book which is obviously not the same, but someone might find it useful in conjunction with this book, and then when I publish it, it's more likely to rank on the same page over time. And this is exactly what I meant when I said previously about we'll put a book out there sometimes, and in a few months' time we'd start to get loads of orders, and that's because our books are starting to appear in conjunction with other books. So if you want to see the top 100 in books, okay, so this is the Amazon bestsellers, the top one, and this is out of literally millions of books that are listed. So let's have a look on here. So we've got 5 on Brexit Island. This one, number 2, the GCHQ puzzle book. Let's take a look at that. So again, the title across the top. This is paperback. It was published 20th of October 2016. Now, when a book gets to number 1 bestseller, it gets an orange badge. You can see that orange badge there? So that means that this is number 1 bestseller in puzzles and quizzes. Okay, it's the number 1 bestseller in puzzles and quizzes. So the paperback book is $6.99. The Kindle edition is actually more, which is quite rare to see. So this is the book's description. Loads of content on the page there. Then we scroll down to the frequently bought together section. Okay, so frequently bought together section. So you've got GCHQ, Mind Games, case study book there. And again, just to reiterate what I mentioned earlier on before, there are 15 pages of books bought in conjunction with this one. That's actually my book there on the right hand side. You can see my company there. So this is on the same sales page as this one, which is a good thing because of the relevancy. So customers who bought this item also bought. So these 2 books have been bought the most with that one, so they then get pushed up to the top. There's 15 other sales pages. Okay, we then scroll down, and this is where we find the bestseller ranking. So just to reiterate this, product details, 368 pages. The publisher is Michael Joseph, which I believe is part of the Penguin Group. Language is English, the ISBN. The product dimension, so this is a real thick book, by the way, real thick book. Average customer review, so it's a really well-selling book. Now this ranks number 2 in books out of, say, 8 million books. And it's number 1 in puzzles and quizzes. So this is a best-selling book. It's number 2, again, so it's bestseller out of all of the books on Amazon, a phenomenal selling book. So based on the sales figures on the charts that I gave you, if this is number 2, let's go back to my slides. So an Amazon bestseller rank, don't forget, out of all the books, it's not a particular category, this is out of all the books, 1 to 5, this is selling about 4,000 plus books a day. So that is making a huge amount, okay, a huge amount. And I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe some of these, or if not all of them, go to charity, some of the money. So respect to the author and the publisher for doing that. So yeah, a great selling book. So just to explain how I got to that point was that I scroll down to product details. You can see then the top 100 in books, and you can see scrolling down all of the different books. And generally they are books by larger publishers, like one there by Tim Peake, Muhammad Ali. So they are higher profile kinds of books. So if you want to do some research on the best-selling kind of books, on the left-hand side, if you type in books or best-selling books into the search bar, and then on the left you can see books. So you can scroll down and find books in any kind of category whatsoever. So you could click on business, finance and law, and then you could go to careers, for example, and then you could scroll through and see all of the different books that are ranking in there in the category. There's more pages down on the bottom too. So hopefully you found that useful. Don't forget to watch it again. My advice is basically just create fantastic content and you will get to a bestseller ranking, or you're more likely to get to bestseller. Thank you very much for watching, and move on to the next module.